I usually talk about avoidant behaviors, how they pull away, shut down, or create distance in relationships. But today I want to share something much more personal. Something most people don't ever notice or understand about avoidance and emotional numbness. Years ago, I didn't cry, or I didn't cry as much. Things that I was supposed to cry about, I didn't, or it didn't affect me. And I didn't even notice it until something happened that I could no longer ignore. My mother passed away on Valentine's Day years ago. I was there with her during her illness. I helped her. I supported her. I stayed present even in her last moments, laying on my bed, sort of like waiting for her to go. And through all of it, I didn't cry. 3 years later, after her death, I finally broke down. I was in my closet going through some things when I found the bag she had packed for her sleepover, the night she came to stay at my place. That's the night she started passing over. That's when I realized I hadn't really allowed myself to feel grief. I had gone through the motions. I dressed her body. I helped with arrangements, but my emotions were somewhere else. There's a moment I'll never forget. I was at the mortuary with my family, preparing my mother's body. I noticed they had put the wrong lipstick on her, a color she would never wear. I got upset and took it from them and put the lipstick on myself. There I was, carefully painting my mother's lips and lining them perfectly as she lay in her gold casket. I smoothed her hair and adjusted her lace dress, making sure everything looked just right. And when I turned around, my family was staring at me in disbelief. They asked, "Are you grieving? Don't you feel anything?" And at the time, I didn't know how to answer. I told them, yes, I've grieved, even though I hadn't really cried. And as I left and drove home, the truth hit me. I felt nothing. I was emotionally numb, and I hadn't realized it. For years I went through life this way. I would feel stress, sadness, or upset, but I didn't cry. I focused on what needed to be done, work, tasks, responsibilities, anything to keep moving forward. My emotions were buried, and I didn't notice that burying them had become a pattern. This is a reality for many people, especially those with fearful avoidant attachment. Trauma, loss, or early experiences can train the nervous system to shut down emotionally as a form of protection, and sometimes they don't notice it. You don't cry because your body has learned that expressing emotions can be overwhelming or unsafe. It's a survival mechanism. Now that I've healed today, my nervous system had to relearn how to feel. I cry more easily than I ever did before, sometimes for no reason at all. I cry at movies. I cry seeing someone struggle, such as a homeless person, moments of beauty, moments of intimacy. Sometimes during sex I may cry if things are really intense. That doesn't happen often though, only if it's someone I really care about. I cry real crocodile tears when things are too funny. I'm one of those silent, at first to loud laughters, but could drop huge tears. I don't cry if I'm sad, that's what's weird. To be honest, I'm hardly ever sad these days. I've learned to take control of my thoughts and focus on what uplifts me. I strive to live in high vibrational energy, surrounding myself with joy, creativity, and experiences that make me feel alive. It doesn't mean I ignore challenges or emotions. It means I choose not to dwell in negativity. I consciously cultivate happiness, gratitude, and peace, and it's transformed the way I experience life. All my emotions are returning, and sometimes it still feels unpredictable, but I now know how to overcome challenges. The point of sharing this is to raise awareness. Emotional numbness isn't weakness. It's not a flaw. It's a signal that your nervous system has protected you in the only way it knew how. But over time, It can disconnect you from yourself and your experiences if you don't address it. You might have dated someone and asked how they feel about you, or if they even love you, and they respond with something like, "I don't know," or they avoid the question altogether. Sometimes genuinely don't know. Often, it's because they're emotionally numb, and they might not even realize it themselves. If you're someone who notices you don't cry, or you struggle to connect with your feelings, or you feel nothing if someone says you've hurt them, know this: it's possible to relearn how to feel. It takes time, self-awareness, and patience with yourself. It takes healing and sometimes professional support. But reconnecting with your emotions is possible and necessary for living fully. So, if you feel numb after trauma, or you notice yourself avoiding deep feelings, this is your reminder. Your emotions are still there. They've just been quiet for a while. And with care, you can invite them back into your life.